Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show.
Some more harness work with Eve. This is the second part for season 28. We may have 24 parts, whatever it takes. Just as a quick review, we had a bit of a spook here about 2 weeks ago, and Eve got afraid of her harness, and she's been our best harness horse. So each day that we work with her, we try to go a little farther than the day before, and in so doing, repeat what we've been able to accomplish the days before. Now, it's quite an accomplishment to be out here in the open space, because at the end of the last show, we decided to work in the smaller corral behind me, and my cameraman's going to show it to you. And we're going to go back in there again with these drive lines on her and drive her around in the smaller corral. It's always easier to do things at a slower pace and in a smaller space when you first retrain a horse or a cow to do them or train them. So we're retraining Eve. We're pretty confident we're going to get her confidence back, and we're pretty confident that we'll be confident in her again. But in the meantime, we need to consider safety number one. Tools, arm extensions, long yacht rope lead lines, rope halters give you a little bit more control over the head, and have enough team members here so that if something happens, we have somebody available to help, even if they don't know what to do right away, can listen to instructions and do help us safely. Now, we do have Andrew here today, and he is just watching. He's a new team member. Okay, Angela is just going to walk around with Eve. We're going to watch her body language. Just walk around as you were. See, she's feeling the britchin'. She's feeling the crooper. The collar's on her. Now, when we put this tack on her today, she was a little bit spooky, but not as spooky as last time, and not anywhere near as spooky as 2 weeks ago. So we're retraining her to be not spooky when we ask her to do harness work, because she's our best farming horse. Now just watch, we're moving around different places here, different objects in front of her, different views. Good. She's not rushing past Angela as she was a couple weeks ago. Now something could spook her any second. We hope that with the lead line on, Angela will be able to maintain control. Walk into the corral. Okay, go ahead, walk into the corral. We've got the gates closed except for the entry gate. Last time in the corral we had these drive lines on. Today we're not going to bother to put them on, because our baby step accomplishment today was harnessing her up and coming out here in the big open spaces again. But we're going to try to get her really comfortable in that little corral. It's a big enough space to drive. A year or two ago, drove both Eve and Sadie in there without question. We've got another horse a couple fences down. She's okay on it. Okay, now turn around and come back out. Let's see how she feels about coming to the big space again. And then we were having a little trouble getting her to back, so stop her when you're comfortable. Yeah, see the visual block? Okay, now I'm going to help with a windshield wiper motion of my arm extension. Ask her to back, a little bit of a tug if she doesn't immediately respond.
Back. Back. Back.
Nice.
Back.
Very nice. Okay, pet her. Pet her, let her know she's giving you the right answer. That's what it's all about. Give them praise for the right answer. Remove the pressure for the right answer. But if they're giving you the wrong answer, as best you can within parameters of safety, don't remove the pressure. And that's why we try to have at least 4 or 5 people out here for harness training with my horses and with my little mini zebu heifers who are being trained to harness and pull in pairs. And watch for that in season 28 too, because we're trying to make the next baby step with them. We're ready to pull single trees with them. We've got cross-check reins that are made up of dog leashes for them. We've got a double yoke that we made for them. We've got them leading really nicely in our obstacles area. The next thing is to actually, if we have enough people here, to actually hook up the single trees and then hook up to the single trees something to pull, like a log, a stone boat, or even just the single trees alone. That's a challenge. We're going to show you that in season 28 as we do urban farming and ranch horse versatility here at Shadrach Farms. And that's all for today. Another session with Eve. We hope it'll be a short one, no more than 5 minutes or so. She allowed us to get her harness on without getting disrupted, without running in circles or anything. We've got the drive lines on. In the smaller corral, Kyle's going to come in and be at the head, and Angela's going to see if she can drive Eve around. And if Eve is behaving, we're going to open this gate and let Angela, with Kyle at the head, go out into the open pasture. Now, if this is successful, repetition, 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 at the same time, we're going to get Sadie, her daughter, harnessed up individually as soon as we can, have Sadie work individually with repetition, and then whenever we feel ready, drive them in pairs. First singly in pairs, and then with the cross-check reins in pairs. Ultimately then with the jockey stick and maybe a butt rope if necessary, but we haven't found the butt rope to be very useful. We just want to make sure these 2 Morgan mares, Eve the mother and Sadie the daughter, will understand that they need to stay head on head and parallel when we're driving in pairs. Okay, now Kyle is going to go inside and I'm going to do the camera because I'm still having hip and leg problems. We're working in the smaller space just in case Eve gets spooked. We'd love to, though, go back out into the larger space and feel confident, mutual confidence, that driving in the larger space is not spooky. We're kind of fixing a spook that happened several weeks ago, and we're not sure why. Some kids were drumming across the street. We don't even know to this day why she spooked, but she ran into the camera, she ran into me, which wasn't good because I fell down on my left hip. And ever since, we've been going back to fundamentals in harness work. Okay, so just a circle or 2 in each direction in this inner corral. Kyle will stay at the head. We have a rope halter on. I'd say her body's language is looking good, maybe a figure 8. And then tell her what you're doing. You're going to go ha or G. Ha is left. Oh, and maybe even a back. She's looking like she used to look. Now I'm going to take my earphones off and go and open the gate. You agree, team? Okay. And here's the gate. Now, if you can do a figure 8 out there with a couple big circles, boy, would I be happy, and I'd feel like we'd met our moment of resolution today on a very warm spring day. I'd say high 70s, no wind, blue sky. Okay, I'm focused on the gate. I'll watch you guys head towards it. She shouldn't be scared of the gate. They come in here into this inner corral all the time when they're grazing. I can't see anything that would spook her. You know, horses don't like change. Nice. That was a nice haw. Now she's going out. Is her body language changing? Not yet. She's looking real relaxed. At some point, Kyle, just for a few steps, we're going to ask you to disconnect your lead line and join up, if you recall what that is. She thinks that you're connected, but you're not. You're just going to walk with her. This is the way we trained harness in the first place. One small step at a time. And Angela, it is totally your judgment call because you're there feeling tension if there is any. After you've gone a couple circles in each direction, let's see if Kyle can join up. It looks like the line is quite lax. Now, if there's any second thoughts, don't do it. Let's just call this our moment of resolution.
Yeah, she had a little moment of tension.
A little moment of tension. Therefore, that's enough for us to say this baby step is good enough for today. Let's just do it a little bit longer when you're ready. Yeah, a figure eight would be nice. And then kind of end up where we tie her up, the usual place. We'll take the harness off. I see a little tension, her head went up. What did she see? What did she hear? There's a plane in the sky. All I wanted to do today was harness her up and driveline her, with or without a lead line at the head. When you're ready to stop, I see a little bit of tension right there. Her neck gets real stiff and high. There, she's at her tie post now. Let's see what Angela does about taking the lead lines off, the drive lines off. Ah, she's backing. Backing is always a good request. Yeah, that noise is a helicopter, but my goodness, they know those sounds. Zigzag, good. Back. Good. If you need to, you're firm. Couple steps back. Uh-oh. Angela has to stay behind or we're in trouble. Come back in the inner corral. We were almost there at the tie post, but maybe we're not quite ready for it. Every moment is dynamic. I'm going to go close the gate, and then we'll take the harness off. And you put it on here, in here, didn't you? Okay. All right, so making sure you see as much of the scene as possible. Do you think it's the tie post that made her scared?
I don't think so. I think it was the backing.
The backing. All right. Okay, next time, Kyle, in addition to having a lead line in your right hand, have an arm extension that can be more of a visual block, keeping in mind where a horse can and can't see. There's a blind spot right under their nose. Okay, and if you could have used an arm extension, maybe you wouldn't have moved the lead line, and maybe she would have understood better that, oh, there's a visual block there, I better stop and back. Okay, we're happy with our progress. Let's take the drive lines off, and then we'll close the camera. I always like to get uncommitted to whatever we're working with that day, and, you know, being hitched to her bridle is a commitment. And we have a horse here, a neighboring horse trying to reach through the fence. Who knows what that horse will do any moment. not realizing that his head is in the fence, trying to get to the grass. That could be spooky. Drive lines off. And then I'd feel better, you know, if not only the drive lines are off, but the collar and the britchin are off. So we'll keep the camera on long enough to do that. And Kyle will stay at the head. Eventually, we hope to be able to just go back to our tie posts because they were harnessed up almost every other day at those tie posts and never got spooked. But they can work on each other and spook each other if we're not really careful to get back to that mutual confidence with both horses. Okay, now watch the collar come off. She has spooked about the collar too. We're bringing the lead line through so we still have lead line control in case her head goes up. Good, very good. Then we turn the collar to the wide side and she got a little bit high-headed for that. Used to be that they didn't care at all. And we'll see how Sadie does because it's been a while. We've been working on Eve at the detriment of not working with Sadie. Did Eve give you any trouble with the britchin today? No. No. Then I'd say that's enough for today. Go ahead and continue to remove the tack. We're essentially uncommitted now with all the stuff that we were concerned about, and we'll probably do this again very early next week. That's in a couple days if the weather stays good, because weather has a lot to do with it. Here we are, trying to work with Sadie after weeks of not working because we've been working with Eve to try to get her back to being our confident harness horse. And we're almost there, we feel, with Eve. So we just took a little detour today and we worked with Sadie. She hasn't been harnessed in a while. And back then when we were training in pairs, we were harnessing almost every day, if not every other day. So harnessing was no big deal. Even though Sadie kind of got bothered by britchin once in a while. Ha is left, G is right. I am going to go get an arm extension and hand it to Scott, because if you want to do a visual block and you've got a lead line in your hand, that may not be the best way to do a visual block. It would be better to put something in front of their eyes or on the right or left of their eyeballs. So I'm going to go get one. Good, good. And here is our favorite visual block because it's lightweight. It's got a string. It's white, so it's noticeable. And what I want you to do, Scott, is hold it in your left hand along with the lead line. Only use it if we need to get visual attention. Right now we're not using it as an arm extension. So I'm going to walk over. She's doing real good. That truck is gone. Good. You're just going to keep it. Now, if you need a visual block, keep in mind that right here, blind spot. She's not going to see it. It's got to be in front of her eyeballs, up a little higher. Okay, even if you have to, you can touch her with it to try to get her focus. And not too far, not too close on the lead line. And we prefer yacht rope lead lines for training. Okay, let's do just another turn or two and call that our moment of resolution. See how Katie has an arm extension in her hand that has a different purpose. When you're ready, I'd like you to go to where she ties. And let's do the usual thing of untacking her. Yesterday when we went with Eve to where she ties, she got nervous going there. So I know that whatever scared her that day several weeks ago is not out of her mind yet. But I don't think that Sadie is going to give us that same problem. We'll see. For just a moment, we'll see her go to her tie. Keep that arm extension down, Scott, unless you need it. Okay, and my camera person, who's a new helper here, Ginger, is following the activity. Now watch how we very carefully uncommit. Uncommit means untack, especially those lines that are considered commitment lines. When you're doing harness work in particular, think about what order you're going to remove all the straps and the chains and the collar, the breeching and so forth, and think about what would happen if there were another spook and those lines were on the ground, wrapping around their legs, which would spook them even more. Good. So far, she looks real calm. We still, though, have a drive line on her. And she is on a clip, so that if she does pull back, she's not likely to sit back. That is, she'll be able to pull her lead line out and get away from the pressure that's being caused by the pullback. We always try to use clips, blocker tie rings, and so forth, especially when we're training. There we go. The bit came out nicely. Now, the collar, did you have any trouble putting the collar on? No. Okay. So normally, that truck is coming by again at a distance, so they can still hear it. Okay, see how she goes? And then you turn it. Don't you turn it? Oh, you don't bother. Her head is smaller than Eve's. That's true. Okay, that truck is now going away. And we have a helper here to put the tack away. That's really good, because we want to think about getting each and every piece off that could cause a problem if she's spooked. You know, eventually, years from now, I don't think all these issues are going to be important, although a horse and a cow, they're prey animals, and it's in their nature. But to train harness horses to be good, reliable harness horses, you know, it can take many years. 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Some horses may not have the disposition at all to be good harness horses. My ranch versatile Morgans, especially Eve and her daughter, Sadie, this is her daughter, I think do have the right disposition to help us here do some pulling and farming and cart driving here at Shadrack Farms. But we sure aren't going to move fast. We're going to do it one baby step at a time, and we're going to do it as safely as possible. And that's all for today. It's Sonia Sokolow, the Urban Cowgirl. Today, a session with Eve, partially tacked, out here in the wide open, green grass pasture. Now what I'd like you to do, Katie, is walk around with her like you were just now. And Kyle, when you're feeling comfortable, you walk towards Eve with Sadie. Let's talk about what you're feeling. Are you feeling tension from either of them? Look at Eve's ears. I think she looked over there and said, wait a minute, that's the horse that scared me that day. Who knows? Who knows what's going on in their mind? Did you get that feeling just now? Yeah, definitely. You know what? Just stand there and you choose to go closer as you feel relaxation. If you feel stress, just go a little bit closer. Don't just... Bring her more into the middle. Yeah, good plan. Kyle's going to walk toward the middle. Now we've got the Monty Roberts on Sadie, so we have a little bit extra control if she starts to spook. But actually, in our last session with Sadie, she was doing quite well here. And see how Kyle has the double-stranded nylon loop with his lead line. Good. Staying out of flea path in case either of them spook. Now you just stand there, and Katie, as you walk towards Sadie, maybe walk around her. Eve is looking. She might start running. She might start circling. It's all right. That's Sadie. They live together, you know. At night they get their own corrals with their own snacks, but during the day they're out here grazing and they're just fine. Good, good. Good. Now what would we like to do? Walk together in parallel, head on head, if we can do it without stress. Okay, so Katie's gonna move and then you move with, and staying out of the way in case either of them gets stressed. I have an arm extension here. Katie has a wide arm extension. Big circles, not too close to each other. They're both licking their lips. Good sign. Good. Kyle, slow down a little bit. Katie, sped up a little bit because they were going in a circle and Eve was outside. Of course, we'd like to do this with drive lines again soon, but we're going to be real careful and take it one baby step at a time. Oh, I like what I'm seeing there. I'd like you guys, so you're going counterclockwise now. If there's, whoops. What spooked her? I hope I'm not in the way. Yeah, she did get spooked. We do have another horse that corralled. You think she saw the other horse? Okay, well, then I was going to say let's change direction, but now we should go back in the same direction, and if we don't change direction today, we'll try to do it next time. Eve used to be my steadfast harness horse, and we're aiming for that again. Even if it's not in pairs, we want her to be really comfortable in harness pulling. Okay, watch, Kyle, she's coming closer. If Eve is behaving, make big circles. Let's stay away from that corner because I think maybe she saw the horse a couple corrals over. Okay, Kyle, why don't you move with? Don't get too close, but try to stay in parallel. Now she spooked again, so it's not the other horse. Okay, why don't you just stop? Let's see if Katie can come up with some hypotheses. What's happening there? Why don't you walk around Sadie again, and if she's walking well, just go maybe 4 or 5 steps forward together and stop. And remember, when we drove Eve the other day, we had a little bit of trouble in the drive lines to get her to go back, so we're going to work on that in the lead line. Okay, Kyle, walk with her, and let's just go straight. It's all right, girls. Okay, and stop. Good, and let's see if we can get Eve to go back, especially with the white stick as a visual block. Yeah. Going back is a real attention getter. Good, good. All right. Okay, we'll Sadie back for you, Kyle. I know you don't have an arm extension. Okay, but let me see if I can. There, she's going back. All right, we're going to quit this session with the back command, and we'll show you in our next show on this topic. Maybe a repeat of what we did today, maybe a little bit more, and whatever it takes to get them back to harness horses in pairs.
See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.